Maybe it's okay if we don't bind somebody to our own expectations, if they're not growing fast enough, if they're not evolving fast enough, if they're not shifting their path fast enough in order to stay up with you. There tends to be a judgment against that too. I'm finding the more I get connected in this sort of self-help, spirituality, growth, like rise of consciousness, the more I'm actually around other enlightened individuals that are judging others for not being as enlightened as they are. And to me, that also is, not constructive, and that's not effective, and that's just redirecting the shame that you used to put on yourself and the old life that you had, and putting it on others for not living and being as progressive as you are. And I feel like we all have a duty to just love one another more, offer and extend a little bit more grace, create an environment where we can all just be authentically ourselves, whether we're at the tier, the top tier of enlightenment or not. It's if it's our responsibility as a collective to really nurture one another, maybe with boundaries, right? We don't have to be subject to somebody else's pain, but as long as we have the right boundaries in place, it's our responsibility to love one another and extend grace and connection, and provide a pathway. If it wasn't for the phone call that I got when I was in my deepest and darkest moment of despair, literally fantasizing about how I was going to end my life, if it wasn't for that one call that came out of the blue, offering me an opportunity and a perspective to have a new project and a way to build a new business, I don't even know if I'd be here. Now, was I as enlightened as that human? No. But did she extend grace and opportunity and love for me at the stage of my life that I was in that moment? Yes, and it saved my life. And we could never pass up the opportunity to support another when we have the capacity to do so, to connect with another when we have the space to do so, and to collaborate with somebody when we have the alignment to do so. And that's where I think the big shift is, and I think that's where the paradigm shift is in our collective. And what I hope to really put out there is not only how can I do those things for other people, but then how can I implore them to do that for others, because then the impact is inevitable. The end game is the same. And to me, I know it sounds so cliche, but it's the end game for me is this collective love. And in a world right now where we can see the contrast, we see how it's